Bills are deploying the 5th highest rate of zone coverage at 76%, and Conklin is averaging more than Garrett Wilson, more than Alan Lazard. Rodgers made a couple, especially one high-risk throw to Conklin running down the seam. What does that tell us? He trusts Conk Daddy. Let's take a look at the results from this past week and where we're at, because another very successful week. The top 10 went 8-2. I'm still a little upset that Josh Jacobs didn't get it done there. I think we came 3 yards shy of that. And Sammy Laporta lost over 4.5 grabs. But, yeah, major crushes there. And I actually did think about the Laporta prop just a little bit more since we signed off on Friday. And I pivoted over, unfortunately, for this program, I pivoted over to the over reception or over yardage prop. And it was one of my top 5 plays. And luckily for yours truly, luck is the residue of design. I got lucky, but I was also predicting and feeling a Sam Laporta big game. And it didn't happen necessarily, but he did make the big play, and we hit the prop on the one play. Nothing better than that. But that brings our record up to a pretty absurd 75.7% per my calculations here, 53-17. And again, on the Thursday night specials, we are 66% hitting on those. So feel really good. We've kind of built up a nice lead. And for the record, I was talking last week about the leans. The leans did very well. Not this week. So good thing I didn't go with them, and I only went with them as leans. And the good thing on a Friday, you don't really need to play the leans because I'm going to give you 10 winners here. Of course, I only gave you 8 this week, but doing very well. Going to stay... I don't want to say not going to be cocky, because that's part of it here, the arrogance, if you will, because I am, in fact, an addict. I am addicted to being right, and I'll do whatever it takes to stay right. So we're locked in over 60% on the season. Like, that's in. We're good. We're not going under 60%. I'll have none of that. So we'll stay hot on Monday night tonight with some picks. By the way, I am 83% on Monday night picks at 10-2. We do have 3 props here that I'm going to officially make, and we do also have 3 leans that I'll just put out there. But I do think we probably have enough action here to, entertain the masses, if you will. And then, of course, we've got a Monday night special that will pop out at the very end of the program. And what is the Monday night special? It's always a lower end guy. It kind of started out only fantasy as a Thursday night special. One day I kind of thought of it like over a decade ago. I'm like, oh, we should get like a sleeper for the Thursday night game, and I'm like, all right. And then like the first 7, I think, hit. And people, and like big plays too. And people were like, whoa, like became like a big deal. It's kind of evolved though. And it's also a big deal when I get it wrong. I get abused on Twitter a little bit. But it's kind of evolved this year into finding a lower end prop or a high risk prop and going all in on that as a special. But the official picks will start here. And I'll start with Breece Hall. I know there are contrarians out there who are looking to go against the marketplace. Now, I don't know where we go with the number that I put into this document this morning, which was 56.5. I guess we'll have to stick with that. I don't know. I'm not sure, because that's already been a bet up, I believe, to 58.5. But that's what I put in as our pick earlier in the day. So it's probably going to be fine. He's probably going to go over 56.5 or 58.5. Minus 120 there on DraftKings. Not the greatest odds overall, but just to recap here and some of the data points that are encouraging and why I'm doing this. Breece Hall, again, coaching change, head coaching change, shake up in the building, Nate Hackett being demoted. I mean, can we demote him to head landscaper next? That's what I say. But Todd Downing taking over the play calling. And again, something's got to change. Something always changes or improves when you get a shakeup like this. And again, I'm trying to put myself in Todd Downing's shoes. If I'm Todd Downing, when I'm looking around, like, what do I do to change things up? Oh, that's right. I've got a stud who's not doing crap, and that's Breece Hall. So I'm going to focus on him. And also no Ed Oliver for the Bills is pretty darn big, because even with Ed Oliver, the Bills are allowing a league high 2.86 yards before contact per attempt. We're not just making this up. With Breece Hall, it's not like a gut feeling. Oh, it's in my gut. No, this is actual reality. The Bills are run on, and they get run on. They're giving up 4.7 yards per carry to running backs. So I think it's a big time bounce back spot for Breece Hall. As Tom Browley noted in the last segment, he held significant advantages last week. So maybe last week they were already trying this. He held significant advantages over the rookie Braylon Allen in terms of snap share. 75 to 25, carry share 64% to 36%, and also route share 47% to 9%. So Breece Hall will in fact go over, let's call it 56.5. That was the number that we officially put it down. It has been bet up a little bit here. Hopefully it's a moot point completely, and it rips off a longer run. Because, by the way, one of the things about a guy like Breece Hall, and this is what's so infuriating about Nate Hackett, is when you have a stud like Breece Hall, you must feed the man the rock. He may not get a rip off a long run, but that's how it works. You know, you take what's there. You're not looking for a big run. You take, okay, there's a 4-yarder there for me. Okay, I'll get 4 yards. So it's like 3, 4, 4, 32. Like, you must stay committed to the run, and that gives a guy like Breece Hall a chance to rip off a long run, especially late in the game. You know, the great LaDainian Tomlinson told me once, one of the first things to go as a running back, contact balance and your ability to rip off a long one. And Breece Hall is, 23 years old, 24 years old. Let's go, Todd Downing. Give that man the ball. Next up, I'm going to double dip here on my guy, Conk Daddy, Tyler Conklin. I hope I'm not cursing him. I know there are a lot of people scratching their heads after 2 weeks because he was my sleeper of the year. And I say sleeper again, I'm talking a guy that people were literally sleeping on. His ADP was infinity. You could have gotten him in the 18th round of every one of your drafts, yet I said all summer that he would be a tight end 1 this year. And over the last 3 weeks, he is in fact a tight end 1. He's the tight end 9 for fantasy in PPR leagues over those last 4 weeks. He's been good for 6+ targets and 4+ receptions in 3 straight games. Again, the Bills really, really funnel things inside. They don't give up big plays on the outside. You know, a lot of zone. McDermott, that's his deal. Keep everything in front of you. Funnel everything to the middle of the field. And that's where Conk Daddy, does his work, basically. The Bills are deploying the 5th highest rate of zone coverage at 76%. And Conklin is averaging more than Garrett Wilson, more than Alan Lazard, to name 2 against zone in terms of yards per route run. He's at 2.02 yards per route run with 0.23 targets per route run on 84 routes against zone. Watching the Vikings-Jets game last Sunday morning, Rodgers made a couple, especially one high-risk throw to Conklin running down the seam. What does that tell us? He trusts Conk Daddy. I don't know why he wouldn't, because Tyler Conklin is very, very reliable. And I know their data and analytics people at the Jets really loved him. That's why they signed him off the Vikings, even though he was kind of a backup. So I like it. Tyler Conklin is going to hit his receiving catch prop. He'll catch 4 balls, and it's going to be close. It's going to be a little bit of a sweat, I believe. But he'll probably get it late. Competitive game. They should probably have to throw it the whole game. I don't think Breece Hall is going to run for 200. You do have Josh Allen on the other side. They're capable, by the way, and this is what you want. You want an offense that's capable of going off. Great. Your Bills go off. I'll be wrong about Allen. Great, because then Aaron Rodgers is throwing it a lot, and then we're lock city in on Conk Daddy. But I feel good about it. Over 28.5 and over 3.4 receptions. Here are some leans for those of you who can't get enough. I did pop this out. And again, it's all with Breece Hall. Over 13.5 rushing yards. rushing attempts, my bad. Over 13.5 rushing attempts, like that as a lean. How about this one? To my point earlier, when you commit to Breece Hall, you're giving Breece Hall a much, much, much better chance, obviously, of ripping off a long run. I know that's obvious when you have a lot of carries, but it's also obvious when you are getting those carries and wearing the defense down. Now you have a chance in the second half to rip off a long run. So I like Hall, longest rush over 14.5 yards. And since Jimmy Cook was a DNP with foot/toe issues, I'll go under his total number of 74.5 rushing and receiving yards. So there you have it. There you have my official picks here on the props. I'm 10-2 on the props as well for tonight's Monday night special. It is brought to you by G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. The G-Bank Visa Signature Card is your best bet, delivering 1% cash rewards on eligible gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on all other eligible purchases. For more information, head to vsin.com/gbank. That's vsin.com/gbank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. We're left now with one thing, the official announcement of the Thursday night special. I don't want to make it all that dramatic here, but I think it is somewhat dramatic that we're hitting these at a 68% clip, 8 of 12. The Monday night special for week number 6, Bills at Jets, is Breece Hall over his rushing and receiving total, 86.5 yards for Breece Hall. It's a good matchup on the ground. It is a good matchup via the forward pass to running back. So let's go Breece Hall.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.